by the title and thumbnail of the video, I'm going to be reviewing the MacBook Air with the M2 chip after using it for about 3 months. I'm going to be as quick and precise as possible to not waste any of your time. Of course, a lot of people have different tastes and needs for a laptop, and I'm pretty sure that's quite easy to understand. So just so everyone knows, I'm reviewing this laptop from my point of view for what I need and what I use the laptop for. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. Also, I'm going to go through every category that is in the description down below, so if you want to skip to any of those parts, then feel free to do that. So when you pull it out of the box, the first thing you see, of course, is the design of the laptop, like the casing of it and what it actually looks like. And in my opinion, it is one of the best looking laptops out there on the market. It's very minimal. It doesn't have any weird lines or designs on there to try and get your attention like a lot of gaming laptops have, for an example. There's no weird shapes or colors to make it look different or special in any way. It's just a very simple and minimal design with the Apple logo in the middle and a very nice premium color. Sadly, I haven't seen any of the other 3 colors in person, so I couldn't tell you if they look good or not. But I mean, it's Apple, and from what I've seen on the internet and from other people's reviews, they do not disappoint. Just a quick note though, the midnight color, which is the darker one of the 4, does attract a lot of fingerprints, so if that's something that irritates you, then I'll try and avoid that color. The bottom of the laptop is the same color as the rest of it. It has 4 small feet so that the laptop can rest on to not get scratched by any surface, and the tiny text it has on there is very discreet and it's not disturbing at all. When you open the laptop up, it has a very nice size screen, which I'll talk about in a little bit. It has the keyboard, which you can just not hate, and it's got a very nice size trackpad as well. You probably know all of this already, so I'm not going to go into mega detail or specs. This laptop is a 13-inch, and for me and the way I use a laptop, it is perfect. It's not too big or heavy to carry it around, and it's not too small to the point where you can't really see on the screen what you're doing. It doesn't ever get in the way. I normally just slip it in my camera bag or my school bag and it just stays in there. If I want to take it out, then I do that, and if not, then it stays in my bag and there's no problem whatsoever. It is very comfortable. It's a very, very comfortable laptop to just take around and take it out whenever you want and place it on any table or desk to start working. To protect it when taking it from one place to another, I use this laptop sleeve from the company called Innertech. I've mentioned this sleeve before in my other videos, but trust me, it's worth mentioning again. This laptop sleeve is made from a water-resistant, rough material on the outside, and on the inside it's a nice soft and cozy material for the laptop. It has a shock absorber system around the edges, so if you do ever accidentally drop your laptop, then it should be nicely protected with this system. On the front side, it has a pocket where you can store small items in there. I usually just put my charger and a microfiber cloth in there. And both pockets do have a zip, so you can just put everything in there, zip and close, and not worry about anything falling out. It does come with another smaller pouch, so you can put other accessories, maybe your phone, your wallet in there. It's made from the same material and it's very nice. If you want to check any of these out, then links will be in the description down below. As I mentioned before, the screen on this laptop is perfect. The size of it, for me, in my opinion, is great. If you're someone that multitasks or uses more than one screen at a time, then it can be a bit of an issue, but if you just use it for everyday use, like scrolling social media, watching YouTube or Netflix, or maybe even editing photos on Lightroom and Photoshop like me, then it's more than enough. The quality of the screen is the best that I have ever seen personally. I'm not very experienced in that area, but I can notice a big difference from my phone screen and the computer at school. Everything, like the text and the quality, just looks so sharp and contrasty, and just overall it looks very nice. The colors are very accurate. I use the laptop for editing photos, as I said, in Lightroom and Photoshop. That is very important for me and I've had no issues whatsoever. The brightness is also very great. I haven't actually used it outside in daylight, so I couldn't tell you if that is good or not, but I'm pretty sure not many people use a laptop outside in broad daylight, so hopefully that isn't too much of an issue either. The speed of this laptop is just so amazing. I've had no problems with it whatsoever, and compared to all the other devices I've had in the past, this is by far the best I've ever had. It handles everything I throw at it. I use it mainly for Lightroom, Photoshop and DaVinci, as I've said before, and just general browsing and that kind of stuff, and it works perfectly. It does sometimes have a bit of a hiccup where it'll take a little bit longer to get the task done, whatever that may be, but in general it is so fast, and I'm so happy and glad I bought this laptop. I normally have multiple applications open at once, and I'll be going from one to another, and it doesn't seem to be a problem. For example, I'll have Google Chrome open in the background with a YouTube video on, whilst I'll be editing photos in Lightroom and Photoshop, and I'll be going from one application to the other, and there'll be no problem. It's as fast and buttery smooth as anything can be. This laptop doesn't have any fans in it to keep it cool. That could be a good thing because it reduces the size of the laptop and it allows it to be much thinner than other laptops, and it also doesn't make a lot of noise because there's a few laptops out there that can be quite noisy when the fans turn on. But not having fans can also be a downside because the components on the inside of the laptop can overheat, therefore making the laptop go slower. But I've had so far no issues with the laptop. But I did buy it in November though. That means I've only really used it in cold weather. So I'll just have to see how it works in summer when it's about 40 degrees outside, and just see if it suffers or if it manages to cope with the heat. I'll consider this one of the downsides of the laptop, or maybe even the only downside of the laptop. There was a small upgrade from the previous generation, the MacBook Air with the M1 chip. This one has a separate charging port with MagSafe that leaves a second USB-C port available whilst charging the device. From my point of view as a creator, if this would have had an SD card, then that would have been amazing. That would have made the laptop 100 times better, but that isn't the case. So I had to invest in a dongle and have to carry it around with me at all times just in case I need to use one of the ports on this dongle. It's not a deal breaker, but it's just not very minimal or comfortable. The dongle I use is called Demkiko, if that's how you pronounce it. It has an extra 7 ports, a USB-C that replaces the one you plug the dongle into, 3 USB-A ports, a micro SD and an SD card reader, and on the end it has a HDMI port as well. If you want to go and check the dongle out, it'll be linked in the description. It's not only for Mac, it says it works for Windows as well. So if you have a Windows device, then feel free to go and check it out as well. The battery on this laptop is stunning. I can go without charging it maybe 3 days, using it about 3 to 4 hours a day. And sometimes if I'm doing hardcore work, then it does drain a little faster, but it still lasts much longer than what you'd expect. And after 3 months of using this laptop, it still surprises me of how long it lasts. So just a quick reminder, this is my opinion, so you may not agree with it, and that is totally fine. But I've come up with this conclusion by using this laptop and basically watching YouTube videos and reading on the internet about other laptops. So it may not be 100% accurate. But in my opinion, this laptop I think will only be for a small percentage of the population, because if you're a student, then maybe you should be looking into invest in the previous generation, which is the MacBook Air with the M1 chip, because it's very similar performance-wise and it's about €1,000 cheaper than this one, and students don't really have a lot of money to spend, therefore that probably would be the better option. If you're a gamer, then you should probably invest in a gaming laptop with its funky LED lights and all of that kind of stuff. For the price of this laptop, you could probably get a decent gaming laptop and maybe even a few accessories to go with it as well. If you're a business person or a full-time content creator or someone where their day job relies completely on their device, then you should probably go for a MacBook Pro, because they're the best laptops out there and you can easily run your business or handle large files, 4K video, maybe even 8K video on there, and you probably also have the money to invest in it as well. But I think this laptop is for people that are in between all of those things, kind of like me. I'm a student and I need to use it to do work, to do projects and search the internet and all that kind of stuff. But I also create content and I want to start a business in the near future. Of course, I don't have the money to buy a MacBook Pro or a higher spec version, but at the same time, I was too scared to spend the money on a laptop that wouldn't be capable of handling so many hours of video and photo editing. So I decided to go with this, and as I'm using it to try and create a good future and to try and start a business, then I considered it an investment and I just decided to spend the extra money. But at the end of the day, it all depends on who you are and what you need or want it for, and I can't really decide that for you. So all I can do is basically give my opinion on this laptop and how it worked for me, and I think I've done that in this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon.